Science is not a collection of never-changing facts. Science is an organized way of gathering and analyzing evidence about the natural world. One goal of science is to provide natural explanations for events in the natural world. Science also aims to use those explanations to understand patterns in nature and to make useful predictions about events. Scientists approach research in pretty much the same way, but there isn't any single cut-dry scientific method. There is, however, a general style of investigation which involves scientific investigations always begin with an observation. Observe is the act of noticing and describing events or processes in a careful, orderly way. These observations lead to a question. An inference is a logical interpretation based on what scientists already know, so scientists use further observations to make inferences. And an inference combined with creativity lead to a scientific explanation for a set of observations that can be tested or hypotheses. When we have an experiment where only one variable is changed, it is called control experiment. Typically, an experiment is divided into control and experimental group. The control group is the one that is exposed to the same conditions as the experimental group, except for the independent variable. In an experiment, we must know how to identify the variables. The independent variable is the one that is deliberately changed in the experiment, and the dependent variable is the one that changes in response to the independent variable. Scientists make detailed records of experimental observations, gathering information called data. Good scientists share four scientific attitudes: creativity. Researchers need to think creatively to design experiments. Curiosity. Curious researcher may look at salt marsh and immediately ask, "Why is it growing here?" Skepticism. This means that scientists question existing ideas and hypotheses and they refuse to accept explanations without evidence. And open-mindedness. Scientists are willing to accept different ideas. Scientists share their findings with the scientific community by publishing articles that have undergone peer review. Peer-reviewed articles are scientific papers reviewed by anonymous independent experts. These experts make sure that the article reaches the standards set by the scientific community. This means they cannot have a preference or point of view that is personal rather than scientific. This is called bias. A theory is a well-tested explanation that unifies a broad range of observations and hypotheses. Biology is the study of life. Living organisms are very different, but they have some characteristics in common. Living things are based on a universal genetic code called DNA that stores the complex information they need to live, grow, and reproduce. Living things grow and develop. Living things respond to their environment. This means they respond to signals called stimulus. Living things are made up of cells, the smallest unit considered to be alive. Living things evolve or change over time. Living things obtain and use material and energy. The process by which they build up or break down materials is called metabolism. Living things maintain a stable internal environment. This condition is called homeostasis. Living things reproduce bisexual require cells from two parents, or asexual, the organism produces an offspring identical to itself, reproduction. These are some big ideas in biology. The study of biology revolves around several interlocking big ideas: the cellular basis of life, information and heredity, matter and energy, growth, development and reproduction, homeostasis, evolution, structure and function, unity and diversity of life, interdependence in nature, and science as way of knowing.